in my head because I love food and I always would take a nap after a huge meal. So the first thing I will be discussing is talking about the popular press article, and this is how this article explains the relationship between the size of a meal and the emotions you would feel after it. Basically, this article used naturalistic observations, and this is a common used method for psychologists. And this article discusses the response of the parasympathetic nerves system telling our body to slow down and focus on digestion rather than go out and get more food. And there are specific neurons that are produced to moderate wakefulness in the brain, which tells the brain to basically secrete insulin and rest in the body. And this article had had one doctor, and this doctor gave an insight on the idea and said, if you eat a nice sized meal, then you will have a tired-based system. And then the next article, when I went more in depth, I found another scholarly article, and it's called Energy, Tiredness, Tensions and Effects of a Sugary Snack versus Moderate Exercise. So this article was written by Thayer, E.R., and this article states the effects of eating small snacks and doing a regular activity, which will increase the tendency to sleep. And then he states regarding a clear motivation for sugary snacks and a relationship between a low state of mind. When you have a low state of energy, you crave a small snack or something real small like canned foods or like a bag of chips or something like that, just because it's real simple. It's real simple carbs, and your body needs simple carbs and proteins to digest to get through the day. Basically, he had this experiment that conducted basically the comparison between the food we digest and how we feel after it. So they would have an experiment. They had about 30 people, and they would eat a big meal, and then they would go walk for about 5 minutes. And then he did another 10 minutes and 15 minutes. Basically, he just found a correlation between having a nice sized meal, doing a small activity after it, then now you have a real strong tendency to sleep after it. And then experiment was conducted and written by Thayer. So now we'll compare the popular press article to the scholarly article for the audience. So basically, in the audience for a scholarly article and between the popular press article, there's a drastic difference. You have, in a popular press, it talks generality, so it's in general, it's anyone in public. And basically, you would use some medical terminology. Some medical terminology they used was parasympathetic, melatonin, and insulin. That's the general, stuff a lot of people know. Compared to the scholarly article, you had some of these words I even had to look up. They had, I knew cute, but adhesion, I didn't know what that was. I knew what a mean was, but there were some other words I can't pronounce. And then the difference between these two, I thought the real big difference was just the detailed procedure and experiments that were conducted. Well, the lack of experiment for the popular press article. And then the audience for this one was directed towards people who want to diet or muscle gain or anything for their body, want to get bigger or smaller. And then, the terminology for the audience, terminology for the scholarly article was rather difficult. And then for the argument between the two, they were kind of close, but a little bit different. So for the popular press article, basically it says you have the parasympathetic activity in the body, and this tells the body to break down energy in the small intestines and the stomach and other associated organs to secrete hormones that will tell the body to rest and digest. And then for the scholarly article, they are stated in a lower state of energy, sugar snacks are more applicable for quick energy and directly correlates with being tired swiftly after exhausting it. So that kind of just wraps up his experiment that he conducted. And then for the popular press article, between the scholarly article for the evidence, you really had a lack of professionality for the popular press article, and you only had one quote, only quoted one clinical professor. Which, that's okay, but it's lacking credibility. And then when you had for the scholarly article, Thayer conducted his own experiments, He had conducted previous experiments as well, as he stated in its references. And the article included statistics and graphs I've never seen before, and include a lot of references as well. And then, so does this popular press article accurately represent the scientific work? So no for you. It does not accurately represent the scholarly article at all due to lack of experimental evidence, lack of scientific professionality, and credibility. And here are my pictures, citations, and references.